I'm thinking of buying another Ball watch. I like the history of the brand, and their quality is very good. Join me as I go through their collections and determine if there is a watch that I want to purchase. I purchased the Ball Trainmaster Standard Time 135th anniversary watch over 2 years ago. I love the look of this watch with its white enamel finish, reminiscent of those train station clocks. There are several fun little details on the dial that continue to impress me. The RR counterbalance on the second hand, the tritium tubes on the hands and at the hour indices, and that use of the 7 o'clock hour numeral to denote Ball and Company. Not only is this an aesthetically pleasing watch, it is also fun to wear. If you haven't seen my video on this watch, I'll leave a link at the end of this video and in the description below. So I thought I'd take an updated look at Ball to see what watches are in their current collections and if anything strikes me as purchase worthy. Let's dig right in by reviewing each of the Ball collections, as I like to do, especially when preparing for a video, as it forces me to learn about the breadth and depth of the brand. First up is the Engineer 2 collection, currently a set of 5 watches with a sporty design, including a chronograph, a couple of divers, and a moon phase, and what I would call a field watch. Next is the Engineer 3 collection, positioned as a reimagination of the Engineer collection we just reviewed, with streamlined cases. I consider these pieces to be daily wear type watches, in that there aren't any divers or GMTs, nor do any have any more uncommon complications. And this is the exact type of watch I'm looking for. That is, a nice daily wear watch that can fit into many wearing situations. Of particular interest to me is the Engineer 3 Marvelight, a nice daily wear piece. Let's put that item in the parking lot. The Engineer M is a collection with a single watch. Well, one watch in 2 sizes. This watch, called the Engineer M Marvelight, is similar to the Engineer 3 Marvelight, but this watch includes the Ball in-house movement 7309. I'll also put this in the parking lot for consideration later. The Engineer Master 2 collection consists of dive and other sport style watches, consisting of dive watches and what Ball calls aviation watches. I assume because of their bold and aviation design dials. The Engineer Hydrocarbon collection is intended to be the ultimate explorer's watch. Beefy watches, all with either dive or GMT bezels, some chronographs, and all with their special crown protection system. The watches in the Trainmaster collection are styled in the classic railroad design, some as simple as time and date only, such as the watch I already have, but includes a chronograph and a moon phase watch. The Conductor collection has watches that have Tourneau-shaped cases, that bulging square shape. Not what I would consider a daily wear watch, although I do consider the JLC Reverso a potential daily wear watch, so maybe these could be too. The watches in the Fireman collection seem to be a set of simple styled watches, much like those we've seen already in the various Engineer collections. But I don't see any that I like better than the Marvelight watches, so I'll move on. Finally, there is the Roadmaster Marine GMT, which is the only watch currently in the Roadmaster collection, a boldly styled watch with a GMT complication. Now, there are a slew of new releases on which Ball is taking pre-orders for delivery later this fall. These include watches that build on the robust designs in the Ball arsenal and include divers, chronographs, combinations of functionality, and special anniversary models. Of interest to me here is the Engineer 3 Marvelight chronometer. This is certainly a watch to which I want to give closer inspection. So let's dig into the specifications and design in comparison of these three watches. I'll go over in this table key specifications of the watches, including price, movement, color options, and various design elements, and highlight my preferences. The first point to understand is that discounts can be found on the two existing watches, whereas the new Marvelight chronograph has a fixed pre-order price. It is also being produced as a limited edition of 1,000 pieces for each of the color options. The two Marvelight watches from the Engineer 3 collection come with the 1103 movement, which is based on an ETA movement. The Engineer M model uses the Ball in-house movement 7309, which is also chronometer certified. I would say the Engineer M Marvelight has probably the best movement of all three. As you know, Ball watches make use of tritium gas tubes for illumination, and each of these watches has a different layout of tubes and colors. I think my preference would be that of the chronograph model. I like that illumination of the minute track. Now the Engineer M comes with an 80-hour power reserve over the 36 hours of the other two. This means that you can let your watch sit around without winding or being worn for 3 days, and it'll still be running. That's pretty nice. If you've watched any of my videos where I've reviewed my Seiko Samurai watch and its movement problems, you might know that the watch was probably magnetized at some time. So I'm slightly swayed by a high anti-magnetic specification on the two Engineer 3 watches. Moving down, I think the display caseback on the Engineer M model would be nice to have, although the 7309 movement has most of the gears blocked from view, but what is visible is nicely decorated. Given the highly polished finish on all of these watches, the fact that the Engineer 3 Marvelight model is made from 904L steel is intriguing, as it should resist scratches better than the other two watches which use 316L steel. Although I haven't seen any of these watches in person, I'm attracted mostly to the gray dial. But gray is not available on the new chronograph model, only black and silver. I also like the Dauphine hands of the Engineer 3 models over what I consider to be a tapered baton style hands on the Engineer M Marvelight. Finally, we have the Cyclops treatment on the date window. Not only do I like the looks of the Cyclops better than the bland date window on the Engineer M, I sometimes find it hard to read the date window without my reading glasses, and therefore the magnification helps a lot. So there you have it. And just looking at the splash of yellow in each of the columns, you can see that it's not a clear choice for me. I think I really need to see these watches on my wrist, as well as check out some other brands. I have one in mind, although it comes with a higher price tag. But what do you think of my comparison and personal selections for the aspects of these watches? Do you have any experience with these watches such that you might provide some different insights? I'd love to have you provide your thoughts in the comments below. And as promised, here's a reference to the video I made on my Ball Trainmaster Standard Time 135th anniversary watch. And here's a video on my Tudor Black Bay 58, a great everyday wear watch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.